Hey, so before this video starts, I just wanted to quickly tell you is that I was sick during the time of this recording and I thought I was going to get it out sooner, but that didn't happen. So there's going to be a lot of dodgy jump cuts here and there and I'm just going to sound a bit sick, but anyway, enjoy the video.
Frequently, people ask me questions based around trading on Rocket League. Mostly people want to find out how to make profit, so in this video, I'll be telling you all how I make profit from selling and buying items. I'll also have the link to an item price spreadsheet in the description with prices of all items from Steam, PlayStation 4, Xbox, and Nintendo. And for this video, I'll only be talking about how I make profit from Xbox since each console has different prices on items. Alright, so I'll be showing you guys what items do sell and what items don't sell. As of now, some crates are very hard to sell. For example, Haunted Hallows. Well, mostly the event items will not sell, so I would not recommend anyone buying those, or even Overdrive don't sell. I find most profit come from Impact, Velocity, Victory, Nitro, Player Choice, Triumph crates as well. So you want to try and get a lot of those, or as much as you can, off people, and not worry about any of the other crates. Usually you will not find Champion Crate 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s, since they are extinct. So there's no point really going for them. They're not that expensive, despite them being extinct, but I would mainly focus on the ones that I listed before. Now, moving on to imports. Imports are the hardest items to sell, especially painted ones. I've had this Crimson Breakout, Sky Blue Sentio, and these Roadhogs for ages. Merc Titanium White isn't too hard to sell because it is titanium white, but all painted imports are hard to sell and it's really hard to get full price for them. So I would avoid buying painted imports, except for Octane. Octanes will sell, and I believe Twinser does, but I have not owned a Twinser myself. So the reason why these cars don't sell is because no one uses them. So cars like the Dominus and the Octane, people use them a lot, mostly the Octane, and that is why the Octane is worth a lot. Well, the painted ones, that is. So if I take for example the Sky Blue Sentio, I've not seen anyone use a Sentio in a few months. So selling a Sentio to someone would be pretty difficult, especially if it was painted. To sell it full price would be difficult. So moving on to decals, it's pretty self-explanatory what items, or what decals do sell. Of course, any black market does sell, but even rares and very rares, these decals will be pretty hard to sell. So even my slimline titanium white striker for the Octane car, which people like the Octane, so they'll buy Octane skins like this. I find it pretty hard to even sell this item for full price. Now moving on to wheels, it's pretty hard to get to know what wheels do sell and which ones don't, since there are so many wheels. But I'll tell you guys that you got to think about what items do people want, what wheels do people use. You got to pay attention to that. So I know discotheques are ones that people will use. I had two other painted discotheques. I sold those pretty easily. Painted Dracos will sell. Hypnotics will. I even have titanium white scoria Grimmelkins, which I've had for a few months, and it's pretty hard to get someone to pay for the full price for that, since they are a pretty ugly wheel. Even though they're titanium white and have a good cert, I'm finding it hard to sell them. Painted imports will not sell, the painted import wheels, except I find FSLs not that hard to sell. They go pretty well. And even limited painteds, I've had the purple ninja wheels for a long time, but I've gotten people paying for them, like wanting them, but usually ninjas do not really sell, because they are a limited item. But I know Saptorishis, these do not sell for full price, these are terrible. Burnt Sienna Roulettes do not sell for full price because of the colour. You want to buy wheels that have good colour. I know my titanium whites, Borealis, it wouldn't be very hard to sell those. I've gotten people paying the full price for those because they're titanium white, but I like them, so I keep them. Troikas are terrible. Sunbursts are a wheel you should buy. These do sell for full price because people like these. It's one of the most popular uncommon wheels. Voltaics sell. They're a very good wheel. And Zombies, painted Zombies will always sell. Moving on to booths. Booths do not sell. I've had these booths for a while. You can trade painted tachyons with people that don't have an expensive inventory, but mostly painted boosts do not sell unless you get good coloured boosts. I do find standard to sell a bit, but yeah, boosts aren't really the best option. If you're going to buy a boost that you will use. Alright, so I'm going to get through this real quick so I can tell you guys how I make profit. Foam hats sell, halos sell, crowns sell, cat ears, I'd say unicorns sell as well. You want to find really good painted toppers if you're going to try and sell them, but they're not the best to make profit. So I would not advise buying them, except people will pay full price for halos. Halos tend to be the best, or even the octopus, but I don't have them. Antennas, we're just going to skip that. Trails, I wouldn't bother. Gold explosions, of course, the only ones that sell in gold explosions are the black market ones. And then banners. I wouldn't worry about banners. People don't buy banners, I guess. But I do have a titanium white burnout. That would sell. I haven't tried selling it. I only recently got it, but I really like it. But I'd assume that would sell because it's titanium white. But a lot of this other stuff, lift off, saffron and lime, people won't worry about that. So before I get into how I make profit, there's also a trading website you can go to that helps people find other people to do trades. And you can search any console you want. That's a good way of finding trades that you want to do. You can even search up items that you want, and it will come up with what people want for that item. But going through the first example of how I make profit, you want to buy imports, unpainted imports for 1 crate, because people will pay 2 or even more, because they want to trade them up. So you want to trade, I wouldn't go for impact, nitros or player choice, or even triumphs. I would avoid trading those for imports. Try and trade 1 turbo, 1 velocity, 1 victory, or 1 accelerator, or a non-painted import. And then you want to go on and sell that import for 2-3 crates. And then you just keep doing the process over and over, and you start getting more and more crates. So I have gotten trades in the past where I've sold 1 crate for import cars. You do want to go for cars. People will pay 3 crates or even possibly more for import cars. But you also need to pay attention which crate they come from. I would avoid cars like Animus and Sentio, since people do not want them. Cars like Imperator, people will buy off you. Endos, Dominuses, GTs. Alright, so it sounds a bit scummy, but you want to try and sell your black markets for more than what they're worth. People will always overpay for black markets. So what you want to do is trade your black markets. You want to pay the exact price for black markets and try and get someone to overpay for them. But you want to make sure you get good items in return. Items that you know you can sell again for another black market. And even though gold explosions could be worth the same as the black market decals, let's take for example the Toon, which is worth 0.2, and the Tora that's worth 0.2, people will pay more for Tora than Toon. So people may be trying to sell you, do 1-1 trades for their gold explosion for your decals. Decals are more important. They're lot more easier to sell, I would say. And even black markets can be hard to sell. Fireworks can be hard, but I do tend to get people to overpay. I mean, as you can see here, I've got 5 fireworks, and I just have not been trading them. For painted booths, you can underpay a lot for painted booths. For example, I'll take this lime tachyon, for example, because I remember when I bought this, I bought it for 3 crates, and they weren't 3 good crates. They were 3 that were not priced as high as others, but I found it to be a really good trade because you can sell it for, the spreadsheet says like about 7 nitros you can sell it for, but no one will pay that price for them. Moving on to uncommons, you can buy painted uncommons for 1 crate and then sell them for a bit more. But you got to be careful of what uncommon you're buying. Be sure to check the spreadsheet for which tier uncommon you are buying. So I believe the Homburg is one of the lowest. No one will pay for that. So same for the fruit hat, no one will pay for that. If you can get derbies, little bows, stuff like that, derbies or little bows for like 1 crate, you'll do pretty well. Berets, you can sell them pretty well. So you be sure to check the tiers of items, and the higher the tier the better. So stuff at tier 6, you will not sell those. Tier 5, you probably won't. Tier 4, you would struggle. Tier 3 and above, you sort of want to look at those tiers and try and get like a good price for those, and you could possibly flip the price and get even more from it. Now when it comes to wheels are pretty hard in terms of selling and buying. You can underpay for wheels, but be sure it is a wheel that you know you will sell again. So painted K2s, if you get a pair of wheels like that, painted, don't expect them to sell. If you do buy painted wheels that no one wants, you have to look for someone that does not have such a big inventory. People with big inventories will want bigger items, more expensive items. You can go to the Rocket League trading website and look up what K2s you have and what people offer for them, but you'll most likely be underpaying. You will be most likely overpaying for other people's items if you are selling a painted K2. If you were at any time to trade a black market decal, be sure it's for a really good wheel. So Voltaics, Dracos, Zombas, you want to be sure of that. So when it comes to you buying, let's just say for an example, uncommon wheels, make sure they are tier 1 wheels, because tier 1 will sell. I believe Spider falls under tier 1, but I don't recommend buying Spider. Painted Sunburst, Vortexes, or DCs, I believe I have a pair of DCs, they will sell. They'll sell for the price that they're actually priced at, and you won't have to be overpaying for someone else's items for these uncommon wheels. So if you can get a real cheap price on those wheels, I would recommend taking them. Alright, so for black markets, people will not pay for certs, and it's going to be really hard selling for certs, but when it comes to black markets, try and pay for the price that they're worth, and then try and sell them for more than what they're worth. That's a really good way of making profit, but be sure you're buying something that you know will sell. So this is the same for gold explosions and the black market decals. Buy them at the price they're at, and certs will be hard to sell. I know a friend of mine that has a Striker Heatwave, and he is really struggling to sell it for the price it's at, even though it's Striker and it is a Heatwave. Like, the Heatwave keeps going up in price, and it comes from an extinct crate. So even if he's struggling with that, I would not bother paying for certs for any other items. And I haven't really given the best tips on trading, but this is what I've done to make profit. And lastly, if you've got an item that you're struggling to sell for full price, don't become impatient and sell it for something you don't want, because there is someone out there that will want it, and you just have to be patient. So patience comes with this. I've even gone 2 hours without trading with someone, where I've gone into the club and the Rocket League trading site and just put up my items, and no one would message me. People would give me stupid offers, underpay heaps for it, and I just avoid it, and I hold on to the item until I find someone that really wants it. So even though I said don't buy painted imports, there may be people out there that do want Sky Blue Sentio and will pay the exact price for it, but finding that person is really hard, and it's not worth the wait. If you're really trying to trade quickly, try and go for good items, but don't become impatient and try and selling the item on the same day. It does take a while to make profit. I've spent a lot of time on trading. As you can see, I've only opened 4 black markets in my life, and I have about 29 black markets and have only opened 4. So if you can get used to the prices of Rocket League and trade really well, try and make profit as best as you can, and you could end up with possibly an inventory like this. I've started out with nothing. Not a lot of money I've put into this game. I haven't bought items as well. There's ways you can just buy items like Heatwave for like $56 or something, but I would not recommend that. Just try and trade the best you can. You could end up with a pretty big inventory. So I want to know from you guys if this video has helped, or if there's anything I've missed, not talked about. I could try making another video, and I'll try and help out those people in the comments with trades, and I'll have the link to the spreadsheet, item spreadsheet, and the Rocket League trading sites, which can help you with your trades. you're going to have to rely on them a lot to end up with like pretty big inventory. So I recommend going to them frequently. Prices do change. I wouldn't say every day, but they do change unexpectedly. So you want to be sure to keep checking. Even though if you're certain on the price of an item, you want to keep checking. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope this helps.